nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
The Jaguars take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Ready? White 25. 36. Let him know, let him know.
On 1st down, Green. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Ready? Flag. What do that? 54. Good try. Even. Let's go.
They'll try the left side. It's Green. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Ready? Black, what do that? Check. Walk 54. Walk 54. You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey, you don't want none.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Winston, he's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Jaguars. Sammy Watkins, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Point after by Lambo, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Set! 180. 57. And here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Eluding the pressure. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Josh Allen able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Going deep downfield for Ross. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. Looking for his tight end, Eifert, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are, positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way. Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Ready? 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Don't say Easy. Check 25. Check 25. Let him go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. 3rd and goal, Winston. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. Well, where do you find that one in the playbook, Charles?
You don't. You absolutely don't. And sometimes what happens is guys want to make a big play, and they turn it into a really bad one. Sometimes you're best just to cut your losses and go down. I hope we don't see another play like that. I'll guarantee you the offensive coordinator, he's looking at his play sheet. He can't find it either.
Yeah, big loss there on the pass completion. The Bengals drive about to get going. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on his first drive. Instead, 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
44. 44 to Mike. 44. Check. Watch the run. 44 to Mike. 44 to Mike. We don't want this. Why they say?
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Roethlisberger going deep downfield for Ross. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. He's going to fire into a double team, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And they will score. It's a Jacksonville touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw, a free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
57 to Mike. Here we go.
Play action. Now Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger. He'll rifle this one deep right side. It got his man complete.
You had to figure they'd take a shot downfield on 3rd and long, so the old cliche came into mind right away for me. Who wants it more? You always hear about receivers, you hear about their hands, their moves, their speed. How about the positioning and the desire to go get that one out of the air?
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Let's go.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Here's a run with Mixon, and this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Now that was a terrific play. We're down here near the goal line, and only one word comes to mind for me, and that's overwhelmed, because they absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line. He came free and made...
And Big Ben intercepted a third time. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line. They'll run on first down. It's Green. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. This will probably be the last play of the quarter. 17-0 our score after 1. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football. They'll come up on a 3rd and 4 here to start things out. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense, because they ran onto the field. That's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
To throw again on second down, Roethlisberger. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
He gets this in the hands of Mixon, and he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Escaping the pressure right, and seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there, hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw again is Roethlisberger, and that is incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And wow, the fair catch was signaled for and taken inside the 5-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. On first down, Green. And from the 4, they get it to the 8 on a pickup of 4.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards.
There goes Green. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marcus Green, 92 yards. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Off the play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away and covered. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Avery Jones making his presence felt on the sack. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
That's good for 28 yards.
Black 20. Hey, alert. Tight ends Ringo. Tight ends on Ringo. Tight ends on Ringo.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Green once again the intended receiver. And now it's second down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Roethlisberger will throw. And that's complete. It's Green here. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 13-yard line. And now he's really knocking on the door for 700. That is career catch 699. Now it's Roethlisberger. Steps away to his left. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up at the half, a reminder we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target, and it's third and short. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. That one complete. He finds Sharp. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. On 3rd down, Green. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. That kind of looked like a defense fed up by being gashed in the running game all night.
Yeah, and imagine their coach saying, if you're fed up on that play, where were you the rest of the time? What took you so long to flip it over to the offensive side? They've been dominating this thing, and to finally have a play go against them, that's not something that's going to make them feel very good this evening.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. And what could he possibly be thinking? He just took the fair catch at the 1-yard line. Major mistake.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Winston. Rolling to his right. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense. Check 15. Check 15. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
This time they stay on the ground. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. So we hit the halftime break here in Jacksonville with the Jags on top. As we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Quarter.
Again, it's Mixon. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. Miles Jack there to make the tackle. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Ready? Let's go. Team showed up. Check 13. Let's go.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Green. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Watch 54. You don't know no better. Check. Sunday. Check. Get it roll. West. Check.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Green. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Hey, let's get in them holes. Hey, 5-0. Here we go.
On 3rd down, it's Green. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. That last play, though, not indicative of the night he's had running the football.
No, you're exactly right about that, because all through this evening, it's been their night, hasn't it? One play here, they get it against them. I wouldn't worry about that very much at all. Just continue to do what they've been doing.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And, Charles, when you start talking about NFL kickers that have hit from 62 or further, it's a pretty short list, isn't it?
That it is, but how about the trust by a head coach to even let your kicker try from that range? That's really showing a lot of faith that he can get the job done.
Yeah, faith and guts. The Bengals drive about to get going. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Now Joe Mixon. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Here's Roethlisberger. Got his man, it's Eifert. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there at 22. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. They'll run with Mixon. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And a throw there going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
Hey, Alpha.
Fourth down. Here's Roethlisberger. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line.
Check. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50.
On third down, it's Green. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So make him 4 out of 4 now in the field goal department, and he's able to extend their lead.
When drives are bogged down, he's been automatic out there. So nice to have a kicker you can count on to put points on the board.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held him to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what I think
that factored in.
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now Roethlisberger. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He finds his running back, Mixon. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Roethlisberger. And this is going to be intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
At the 19-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
That's the way.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Green. Got some room at the 30. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. A gain there of 30 big ones. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Jameis to throw it. Going for the deep ball. He's got it with the 15. That one goes for 36 yards. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10.
Sponge. No. Flip it. Rotate. Spell.
From the red zone now, Winston. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Winston, run of the option left here. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. Jameis Winston. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now Roethlisberger to throw. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And that's caught inside the 35. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. A big play there for Cincinnati. 51 yards. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He'll let this go in. And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Fournette, a first down, still going. They're all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 23 yards to pick up there.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they get to that end zone real fast.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set them back for second down. Now from the 9, here's second and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Green. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, we're looking at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they went with the elusive, slippery guy. Couldn't get in there, though. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount.